Hey guys, this is Mindcast with your host, Kevin Seaman, where we talk about what's going on in your head. Hi, I'm Kevin Seaman. Welcome to Mindcast. I've spent over 35 years as a teacher, writer, and mental performance coach. What's a mental performance coach? As a mental performance coach, I've researched what it takes to improve the performance in others, and then I coach them on how to make changes that help them to meet and even exceed their potential. It all started with me trying to improve my condition. Since then, I've studied as much as I could get my hands on about methods, systems, and principles of success, and how I could improve my performance in different areas of my life. I've had many phenomenal coaches in my life. The extraordinary thing that these coaches have shared with me were the principles that have led to their personal success and the success of their clients. Every great athlete has at least one coach. They teach the athlete what to do, when and how to do it in order to win more often. Here's what I've learned. You can try things by trial and error, sort of like trying to reinvent the wheel. You can struggle and fail, and maybe you might not give up. But the fastest and most efficient ways to learn is with the use of a coach, someone who has the technology and knows how to teach it. The smartest people I've met agree. No one has it all, and not everyone knows how to teach or coach. It's a learned skill. Although most people equate having a coach with competing athletically, there are coaches for every subject where you desire to improve your performance. Every successful actor has a coach, every successful performer, and every successful person I've met and studied under has had a coach, and now, so do you. That's what my Mindcast program is about, giving you access to a performance coach who can teach you some simple strategies to make your life just a little better. I've been a coach for decades and helped people in a huge range of diversity improve their standards and succeed in their life exponentially. In fact, I've taught thousands of people how to improve their success ratio with the methods I've learned. I've even written a few books on the subject, and my work has been featured in magazines internationally. Let's start with some basics. This will enable you to understand the principles in the systems of internal communication and personal programming I'm going to teach you. We hear people talk about concepts and principles, but what exactly are they? Well, a concept is an idea that's based on a specific. Concepts are useful in that they help us open our mind to possibilities. But principles are incredibly valuable to us. Did you know that there are principles to being successful? Did you also know that when these success principles are followed, they will help guide our direction in life to a level that we would not otherwise achieve? But what is a principle? A principle is a law, not a guideline or an idea. It's a law. The principles of success I've studied are time-tested. The tools I'm going to teach you have been discovered and used by countless ordinary people just like you to improve their quality of life, their personal success, and their happiness. These principles, when adhered to, will ensure your possibilities for success. They are the framework for your personal achievement. So let's start building your toolbox. The key to building anything is having the right tools. What you will learn in this program is which tool to put in your toolbox and how to use them. Today, we're going to start with what I think is the most powerful driving force a human being can possess and utilize: their beliefs. But what exactly is a belief? It is a viewpoint or thought of which you are absolutely certain about. Beliefs tell us what we're capable of, our strengths, our weaknesses, how we should approach something, and of course, whether we will succeed. Your beliefs have the power to control what you do, what you won't do, and what you won't even try. Literally, every person that has accomplished any goal or anything had a firm belief that they could do so. That's what drives us to do anything. Our belief that it is possible and that we can accomplish what we set out to do. Let me give you an illustration of what a belief is and how we develop them. To do this, I'm going to use a table analogy. A concept is like a table without legs. It's an idea, but doesn't yet have support or references in reality to support it. In other words, it doesn't have legs. What do I mean by legs? Our references support our beliefs, and these references are based on our experiences. So in this analogy, our references are like table legs, and with legs, references, it becomes a belief. We have three types of references that support our beliefs. First is our personal references. Second is our second-hand references. And third, our imagined references. Okay, I'm going to expand on this table analogy. When you were little, you probably believed in monsters of some kind. These monsters seemed very real and were frightening. This fear may have kept you awake at night. These monsters may have kept you from going into certain rooms or closets. How the hell did these monsters get in your life? Here's how. First, you had a personal experience, or what we call personal references, for believing in these scary creatures. You saw them, not in real life, but in movies. This is a personal reference to support the idea of monsters. Second, you read about different monsters. Perhaps your friends talked about monsters. You heard scary stories about monsters. Someone might have told you monsters stay under your bed and hide in your closet. And now you have secondhand references. Get the picture? Next, you imagine these monsters or dream about them until they seem so real that they must be. Your imagined references have pushed you over the edge, and your table has some very strong legs to support the idea that monsters do in fact exist. And they may even live in your room. Sometimes these imagined references can be the most powerful of all. But then something happened. Your mom or dad assured you there were no monsters under your bed. They may have even shown you. And one of those legs gets a little shaky. And boom, just like that, your secondhand references have been challenged. Next, your friends laugh and say there's no such things as monsters, that's kid stuff. Another leg starts to quiver in its support. You think about it, and you've never seen any news of monsters. No monsters have eaten your friends. The more you think about it, that last leg just disappears, and there are no more monsters. Your table is unsupported, and your belief about monsters has changed in nearly an instant. As we get older, we discover that real monsters are actually human, and that they're the scariest monsters of all. Guess what? Every belief you have is supported by some kind of references. They may be more personal or firsthand, based on your actual experience, or you may be more influenced by what other people believe, think, or say. Or you may be more influenced by what you read, what we refer to as secondhand references. For some of us, though, it's the imagined references that influence our beliefs the most. It's what we manifest or imagine that has the greatest influence on what we may believe. So let's take an in-depth look at your beliefs and how they influence you as an adult. Because just as you've established beliefs through the years, you also have changed those beliefs as you receive more proof or data in regard to what you had previously believed. According to Webster's dictionary, a belief is a state of habit of mind in which trust or confidence is placed in some person or thing. It is a feeling of confidence or certainty in truth. What you believe becomes your reality. But a belief, in fact, is not necessarily true or factual, but the person having such a belief will act as if it is indeed true, because it is true to them. Remember my monster example? I like what one of my coaches, Tony Robbins, says to describe a belief. A belief is simply a feeling of certainty. These feelings of certainty are essential for all human beings. They guide us, they give us strength and confidence, but they also inhibit us, and they can make us rationalize what is untrue. There are two types of beliefs: empowering beliefs and disempowering, or what we call self-limiting beliefs. Let's start with your empowering beliefs. Empowering beliefs give us courage, they give us strength, they give us a reason, a purpose for what we can accomplish in life. They give us certainty. Think about one empowering belief you may have and feel strongly about. Think for a moment. If you need to pause my mindcast for that moment, that's fine. Now hold that thought about that belief, because now we're going to define it more clearly. Now, for that belief, you have several references that provide confidence in that belief. Those references are bookmarks in your subconscious that relate to your experiences. The references you've established, or most of the time, the references you focus on, are what prove to you why you believe anything. You have references for every belief you have. You have built a virtual data bank of these references throughout your life. Let's look a little closer why they are crucial to supporting what you do or won't do in your life, regardless of whether it helps you or keeps you in a state of stagnation. Guess what? Sometimes these are not reality. As you look at your list or your single belief, determine what type of references you have to support your belief. Notice if your references have any pattern to them. That is, do they tend to be personal, secondhand, or imagined references? There's no right or wrong, simply notice them. Again, here's an example to give you the idea. So here is one of my guiding beliefs. Exercising is fun. I believe this because I have years of personal references. I enjoy how I feel during exercise and afterwards, and I get to meet a lot of great people in the process. People I work out with also seem to have fun, and this is my secondhand reference. But for me, my primary references are mostly personal. But wait, you might think, were there ever times when exercising wasn't fun for you? Were there times when you got injured? Was that fun too? Did you ever feel nauseous during or after exercise? What about sore? Was that a good time? Did you ever meet people that were not really great? Bingo. You see, we tend to remember or focus on those references that are consistent with our beliefs. That is, even if we use personal references to support our beliefs, we don't use all our personal references. Instead, we focus only on a portion of them, or we tend to minimize the negatives, and we accentuate the positives. This limited focus can also happen when we interact with others about social, political, or economic issues. So our use of references is selective and tends to be skewed. Bear this in mind when you work through your limiting beliefs by challenging your references. But let's get back to your empowering belief. For each of your empowering beliefs, ask yourself, what are the benefits of having a belief like that? What does it allow you to do? And what do you think you would never have tried or accomplished if not for having this feeling of certainty? Again, here's an example of my references for a major core belief I've had for many years. I can do anything I put my mind to. I believe this based on my personal references. I have succeeded in athletics and business, sometimes in instances where I had absolutely no background from which to work. The benefits of having this belief is that I am not hesitant to try new things, and I'm confident that I can learn how to figure them out. If I need help, I'll ask, since I'm confident that I can succeed. I also know that if I break a new endeavor down into small steps, if I'm patient and I keep persisting, that I will eventually succeed. So I adapt to change readily, and I feel comfortable in new situations. Another part of that belief is I know from experience that if I fail, I actually haven't failed. I've only failed that first attempt. If I quit, if I give up, only then have I failed. If I continue to persist, I will eventually succeed. This belief is virtually etched and programmed into my mind through my personal references. I also have many secondhand references of friends and acquaintances that have succeeded in endeavors once they put their mind to a task. And thirdly, I have vivid, powerful, imagined references that drive my subconscious towards my objective with passion and a burning desire to achieve what I set my mind to. If I didn't live by this belief, I would never have started, let alone run my own successful business for the past 35 years. Asked the woman of my dreams to marry me, traveled to teach in unfamiliar environments or in other countries, and achieved black belt levels in 7 different martial arts, or traveled to Southeast Asia to compete in a full contact martial arts world competition at nearly 40 years old. If I didn't have the belief that I can do anything I put my mind to, I don't think I would have accomplished or even attempted most of these things and hundreds of other things that I've accomplished and succeeded at through the years. Okay, you got this? Now you try it. Go back to that belief I asked you to think about. What references have made your belief a guiding force in your life and behavior? One of the most incredible things about questions like this is how they make you stop and examine your thoughts. Next, let's look at self-limiting beliefs. What are self-limiting beliefs? Self-limiting beliefs are boundaries that we set for ourselves. These self-limiting beliefs are fully reinforced by the 3 basic references that have trained our minds to support our limiting beliefs. Since we were young enough to understand, we've been told, no, don't do that. No, that's not for you. No, you're not old enough, big enough, strong enough. No, no, no. The word no has become so ingrained in our mind that we begin to set limitations for ourselves at a very early age. First and second-hand references pummel our psychological outlook, telling us all the things we're incapable of. They instill a fear of failing into us, and we will avoid that fear and the pain it gives us at all cost. When you are incongruent between what you believe and what you are doing, you will be out of alignment with your objective. For example, if you believe you will fail because you have been programmed to believe that, you will not succeed at achieving your objective. Not because you can't accomplish it, not because you don't possess the ability or aptitude, but because you have been instilled with the belief that you're not capable. I've witnessed this with friends, family, and with my students and clients. In order to succeed, you pretty much have to believe that you can. I've had people throughout my life tell me, you can't do that. It's not possible. I usually answer with my inside voice, no, you can't do this. Don't push your limiting beliefs and insecurities on me. If I believed them and their secondhand references, I would not have attempted many of the most life-changing objectives I believed I could or wanted to accomplish. If I had not imagined success, visualizing how my life would be enhanced, I would have instead allowed them to program my future. What you believe becomes your reality. Most people are not aware of the degree to which limiting beliefs hold us back. Consider phrases like this. I could never do that. I don't think it's possible. We can never recapture what we had. There's no way that will work. Nope, that's just the way I am. Yeah, I tried that once. It didn't work. I've never been able to before. Why should this time be any different? I could never work for myself. It's too uncertain. Our organization will never change. My boss will never go for that. I'm not, insert the following, smart enough, strong enough, old enough, fast enough, or I'm too young, old, slow, poor, etc. Maybe someone else can do that, but not me. I don't have the background or experience. And here's my personal favorite. I don't have enough education. What is each one of these saying? Forget saying, what are they screaming at you? I don't believe it's possible. Or it may be possible, but I can't do it. Okay, let's take a look at some of the limiting beliefs you hold on to. Now think about, and if you can, list those limiting beliefs that you feel have held you back. Those that have prevented you from taking action in areas that were once or are important to you now. Focus both in your career and in other areas of your life. Think about what your beliefs are around time, money, energy, age, experience, knowledge, relationships, and people. Here again are a few examples of some common limiting beliefs in relationship to health and fitness. Exercising is too painful and I'm too out of shape to begin. It's too much work. I'll probably never make it as a great athlete anyway. Eating right is too difficult and way too expensive. I don't want to go to the doctor. I might find out something bad. I'm too old, young, short, tall, fat, skinny. You get the picture. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money to join a gym. I need someone to tell me what to do or I won't exercise. I'll never get back to where I was, so why even try? I'm in a rut. Way too hard to change. I don't have the energy to learn anything new. What's the point? We all die anyway. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. John Wooden, one of the most winning basketball coaches in history. Now, what are some of your limiting beliefs that are holding you back from accomplishing what you really want? Take an honest look at the references you might have established and challenge those. In my last Mindcast, I mentioned that someone once told me the basis of critical thinking is understanding that intelligence isn't about knowing everything. Rather, it's having the ability to challenge everything you know. I think it's important to always be willing to consider any evidence that contradicts our beliefs and admit that we may be wrong. Here's something I've noticed. People respond more to perception than they do reality. This perception is developed through opinions by others, feelings through emotion, thoughts through your imagination, beliefs, references based on personal, secondhand experiences, and imagined references, but not necessarily truth. With any belief, it's easy to focus on the references that support them. Many years ago, I worked as a personal trainer. Before I took on a client, I would do a free consultation to be sure my client's needs were aligned with what I had to give them. Many times when I was interviewing potential clients, I would ask them, "What do you want?" That's a pretty simple question, right? They would then begin to tell me all the things that they didn't want. I don't want to be out of shape. I don't want to be fat anymore. I don't want to go out with my friends because they all look better than me. I can't come to the gym and train on my own. I don't have the willpower or discipline to even work out alone. They would literally tell me all the things that they didn't want and nothing that they did want. So here's something very useful. Do you know what happens when you focus on what you don't want? That's exactly what you get. In life, you become what you focus on most of the time. Your mind actually looks for more of what you focus on and how to get more of it. So here's the next question I would ask my clients. What have you tried so far? The number one question I would get is, I've tried everything. Obviously an imagined reference. I'd smile and look at my clipboard and I'd write down and repeat exactly what they said. You've tried everything. Okay, like what? Usually I'd get a blank stare. And then I would say, let's start with one thing. Before now, have you had a gym membership? How long did you exercise consistently for? The most prominent answer was yes, I tried going to the gym on my own and it just didn't work for me. I write that down and I repeat, went to the gym. How long did you do that for? How long did you actually use your membership for? Potential client. Oh, I don't know, a couple of months. I would then ask, how many days a week? Whatever their answer was, I would write that down as they stared at me. Okay, great. What else? What else did you try? Potential client. I went on a diet. In fact, I've tried a couple different diets. Excellent. And how long were you able to stay on that diet? As I write this down on my clipboard. A few weeks, I guess. I quickly write this down. Went on a diet for a few weeks. Then I look them straight in the eye and I say, okay, what else? 95% of the time, the answer was, I guess that's it. That's it? Okay, that's not everything. In fact, that's not even 3 things. The reason I would do this is to point out to them that in order for them to be successful, they must be consistent and honest with themselves. Their belief was they had tried everything and failed. This limiting belief held them back. It gave them a story that they could tell themselves as to why they failed. Remember when I said that people respond more to perception than they do reality? Their perception was, I can't lose weight and I've tried everything, so I just have to accept that reality. That is not a reality. It is merely their perception of their reality. Once I challenged their references that were limiting them in relation to what they believed, it was like I gave them permission to succeed. Now, I totally understand that there can be exceptions due to hormonal imbalance, body changes, and personal chemistry. During that time, I only had one client tell me they didn't want to use my services. They also went on to explain how uncomfortable I made them. Good. That's good. I want you to feel uncomfortable. I want you as my client to get disturbed. What gets disturbed will move. What does not get disturbed stays the same. Because clearly what you've been doing is not working for you. Or you wouldn't need a trainer. The more disturbed you are with yourself and your current position in life, the more likely you are to succeed. Leverage is a very powerful tool for change. Our conflicting beliefs. Sometimes our beliefs will conflict, and when that occurs, we send ourselves conflicting messages. Often, these conflicts are based on opposing values. It is quite common for us to have beliefs that conflict, especially in the important areas of competition, relationships, money, time, and energy. If you are a parent, you may have had thoughts like this. I want to get that high-paying job so that I can support my family better, which means longer hours and maybe travel. But the most important thing I can do for my family is to spend time with them. This is a money versus family time conflict. Or I got offered that management position at work, but that means my friends will now work for me. A few of them are more qualified than me. How will they treat me? What will they think? Advancement versus friendship and judgment. Or I'm so excited I got that college scholarship, but now my boyfriend and I won't be able to see each other. And that'll put a strain on our relationship, which I value. With my luck, I'll never find anybody like him again. Opportunity versus love. I'm perfect for that position and I would rock it, but I'm too old and I'm not formally educated. I'll never get it. Aptitude versus self-image. Your references support your frame of belief to help bring you one step closer to being the best. This powerful triadic support can drive you confidently and boldly toward your victory and success again and again. But sometimes our mind creates conflicts of reference and establishes conflicting beliefs, And sometimes those conflicts create a feeling of uncertainty. Here's a metaphor to show you what I mean. Have you ever driven your car out of your driveway with your parking brake on? You're accelerating, but there's resistance from the brake and you can feel it holding you back. That's what conflicting beliefs do. They create resistance. The power self-limiting beliefs have over you is not limited to your physical performance. Your mind and body are one and the same. What do you think having a conflict with an empowering belief and a limiting belief does to your nervous system? Or having a conflict of values on a life choice? Yep, you guessed it. It subconsciously yanks that emergency brake. This reaction to what you play out in your head visually, your limiting belief and its consequences can be manifested as an illness, butterflies, apprehension, procrastination, self-sabotage, unhappiness, irritability, negative habit patterns, or even depression. The key is to recognize that you may be compromising your beliefs, or you might not be entirely honest with yourself and your worth. That's a perfect opportunity to challenge those self-limiting beliefs and references that are holding you back and focus on what you really want, rather than what you don't want. Thank you, and I look forward to welcoming you to my next Mindcast. Until then, remember, what you believe becomes your reality. Until next time, this is Kevin Seaman, and this is Mindcast.